Hey guys, what's going on? We are back with another yugioh banlist prediction, and it's kind of crazy to think that we're almost 3 months into 2025, which has been actually kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, the meta game since December has kind of went the way we kind of thought it would, with Ryzeal Malice becoming the best decks. Kind of expected that. So more so Ryzeal, which was kind of interesting, just due to the fact that with Ryzeal, I wasn't exactly expecting it to be as good as it was, due to the fact that kind of like me and a lot of people died until we got 7 Tachyon, it was going to then, really take off. But it looks like the Fiendsmith has been holding, Fiendsmith cards have been holding that fort down pretty well, down packed. It won the first YCS, it won YCS Rolando. I know that Fire King, followed by the Gold Ginkabooey, took YCS Birmingham, and I forgot what won the Latin American YCS, but we do know that, these decks have definitely been showing high in, high in representation. Malice, Ryzeal, and Ryzeal variants and Malice variants have been definitely kicking off. It's been a little bit crazy. So, but expected. And honestly speaking, I really do like this format a lot. I don't really find too much wrong with the decks that are being played. The only thing I really don't like about this format, and that's most formats, is just the pricing for some of these decks and some of these cards. But I really don't expect too much of a big change as far as the ban list goes. I'm gonna be very honest. I could see like not a lot of bans or anything, but I can see more limits. And some things that I personally want to see change, just because I think that there's some things that I would like to see happen, but it's more of a wish list type of thing. So, you know how this goes. But before I start, so I'm saying, guys, once again, these are just my opinions. Regards to the opinions in the comment sections, be respectful to each other. We're going to try to be, we're going to be respectful. Every card I talk about today, I'm just going to say, like, this is why. You don't have to agree with me. I probably won't agree with you. You won't agree with me, but we keep it respectful here. Thanks, guys. And let's honestly start talking. This format has been kind of interesting, where there's not a lot of cards I would hit, but there are some things I would love to see come back. And with the new Stampede, the Quarter Century Stampede coming up, there's going to be a lot of reprints. But I wonder when we get the ban list, would be after or before that, and like what would change in that. But let's get started with some cards I think should be realistically on the chopping block. And starting with my first card, and a card that I hate very much, Abyss Dweller. And so Abyss Dweller is one of those cards I just don't like. It, although sometimes I feel like it's a bit more of a win more type of card, it's one of those cards that you see it, we have with the best deck in the format is a rank 4 deck that can easily make this, especially since more people are shifting towards a pure variant of Ryzeal. They make this card, you just have extra bodies to make this card to make Abyss Dweller, you kind of have your opponent out of the graveyard. And it's just like this card has been on since what, 2014, over 10 years, and just like, why hasn't this been banned yet? I'm pretty sure the last OCG list had this banned, and I'm just like, ew, get rid of this garbage. We don't need this here. Like, I can't think of any deck that would suffer losing Abyss Dweller. I really can't. I know there's like, well, we need to have a healthy amount of graveyard hate. I'm like, actually, I can tell you like this, I'm not a big fan of this at all. I really don't like this card. I think this card should just go away, be gone with. It should not remain legal. Personally speaking, especially now that Ryzeal is here, Ryzeal's probably gonna be here for a while, at least probably like a year, kind of like Snake Eyes. I don't want to be using this card. I hate this card. This card should have got banned in tier format. This card should have got banned before that. This card should have got banned before that. And not to mention, you have the Atlanteans now. I don't want this card. This card's trash. Get rid of it. Bye. Bozo. God, I hope they get rid of this card. The next card I want to probably take a look at is Shifter. Now, this one I don't see getting banned. At most, is probably going to go to the limited section, but realistically, you can always see this card just get banned. Right now, Malice is indeed the best deck in the format, or well, soon to be the best deck in the format. I think after it gets its supports in Alliance, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get nuts. So it's a sick, and this card is just like, oh no, you drop Shifter on me, I'm playing Malice, who cares? But then it's like, I'm playing something that relies on the graveyard, and well, I got Shifted, GG's. And that's kind of the part that hurts the most. It's just, it's just like when a card like this just kind of says GG's, especially if it's being played by Mouse. Like Mouse just pops off, like they get trapped, they have something set, you can't Veiler them because you can't Ogre them, and it's just like you're sitting there and it's like, well, they get to make, Red Ransom, they can make White Binder, they get to make everything, just everything brings themselves back, you just have a big old board access code game. That's not fun. Shifter is a very, very strong card. I don't like it. I don't really want it to reign around still. I don't know why it keeps remaining around, but it is what it is, I guess. But realistically speaking, I'll probably see it here in the limited section than here in the banned section. But I would like to see this card banned. And I'm just sick of this card. I don't like this card at all. And the next card, this one is a little bit probably won't happen. This probably won't happen, but I think this may happen sooner than later, probably after a reprint. But Bestial Macromut. Now, as someone who is an avid Dragon Link fan and I love the Bestials, Magmamut is just one of those cards where its utility is a little bit too good. For those who we played Bestials, been playing Bestials for the past almost 2 years at this. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, almost 3 years at this point. Yeah, because they came out in Darkwing Blast in 2022. Oh my god, jeez, it's a long time ago. Mud has been out one for a while. Bestials have definitely made a big resurgence back into the metagame just due to the fact that Malice, they synergize well with Malice. Everyone's playing Fiendsmith, and this card essentially just does a lot because this card, it's big old DD Crow, 2500 body on legs, and then this searches any dragon in the end phase, or you can add any dragon from your deck or from the graveyard to your hand. That is a really strong effect considering its partner in crime. Haven't forgot about you, Mr. Druisworm. It's just a resource move that just does a lot of dumb crap, and it's especially when you have like the Bestial Engine, regain, shuffle it back, or sends it back out. Hey, guess what? You get more value out of it. You get a lot of value out of it, and that's a lot of dragons. Tenpai uses this. We play this in Malice. We play this in Ryziel Fiendsmith. We just play this in so many decks that can just run Bestials, and Bestials are so good, so ridiculously good, and I think Magmamut might be time. It might be time for him to go. Like he may get reprinted as a QCR in Stampede, and it'll hurt because I'm definitely gonna pick up the QCRs. But I think eventually this card might have to go from 1 to 0 just because Bestials are just so prevalent, and having a way to search out another Bestial in the end phase and start just absolutely dismantling the graveyard is a very, very strong card. And I think it's a card that probably may have overstayed its welcome. Personally, that's just how I feel about that. Do I want it to go? No, but can I see it going? Definitely. Because, like, once again, I don't expect too many bans on this list. Some of these are just, like, more or less me just thinking out loud, just like, hey, these cards I can definitely see these cards getting banned in the near future. Or in the next list, possibly. Which leads me to my next card, which might be. So Moon just recently got the OTS Super, but I can definitely see this card getting banned, which is probably why they printed it as a common and then a super. Maybe not. I can see it getting banned though. This is one of those cards where it's just like, 2 cards equal full Fiendsmith combo type of shenanigans, and that is really strong because I'm gonna be very honest with you guys, like, as someone who plays Ryziel and Malice, having access to Moon is ridiculous. And just like anywhere in the combo, as long as you have it locked to yourself, is like, hey, by the way, I normal summon Ice special summon X search for Sword, go into either Exotonne or go into this, and then it's just like, bam, full Fiendsmith combo. I can either get Desiree, the new one, what was it? The Armande or whatever it was called, the Link 3 that tags out into a fusion. The other Link 3 that tags into a fusion, and you just it just turns 2 bodies into a full combo. You get Deity, High Wave, King Caesar. You have so many things that you can do, and honestly, like in this day and age, just the Fiendsmith engine with hand traps can just hold things down on its own. It is kind of funny because I've been playing in my testing, I've just been playing so much Ryziel and like getting into like the Fiendsmith combo. Sometimes I don't open a single highest X or sword. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I have this, I have some hand traps, and I have some imperms laid on the field. And I end up winning the game because like it's just the deck, it just does so much. And I feel like without murdering the engine, you can definitely get rid of Moon. It's like, it's a high impact card, in my opinion. It's just such a strong extra utility just to bridge into another, every deck can sit there and just bridge into the Fiendsmith stuff. This is really powerful, really good card. I can definitely see it going. I can possibly see it going. But as far as bans, I think this is kind of like all I really would have to ban. Nothing that else crossed my mind at this point in time where I'm just like, oh yeah, this card definitely needs to be banned. But that's how I feel. Now to the limits. This is where like, this is gonna get a little bit wish listy, but hey, it is what it is. I would definitely say first one, Bestial Jerusalem. You play this in multiples for obvious reasons. This is a 2 to 3 of in like the Malice builds, especially like when you're playing a ton of Bestials, you're playing like, you're playing this, you're playing like 2 to 3 Druid Swarms, you're playing a Ball Drake, you are playing sometimes Ordinary, depending on how many Bestials you want to play, but Druid Swarm is the best. Druid Swarm after Backlight is the best Bestial. Straight up. Once again, you crash it into this single-handedly threatens to do that Druid Drive, but Detonator. This card by itself just threatens that if your opponent is not expecting the Bestials, and then like you just summon this, you end phase summon this, or you get this to stick, and then you just crash this into, you just kind of crash. You can you summon this, you crashed it, you crashed into the attack position, the Detonator, bam, out the Detonator. Granted, it's got a little bit worse just because of Eclipse Twins is now a card. Card's really cool. But this is get rid of it. And this existing more than one. I think Jurisworm is just sort of a really strong card. I really love Jurisworm, but at the same time, it is really hard. But I can definitely see it going to limited after it receives a reprint, because this is the most expensive Bestial. I think this is even more expensive than what's his face than Lubellion. Actually, let's take a look at that real quick. Let's go to CCG play real fast, because I actually want to go ahead and see this real fast. Let's see, Bestial, Jurisworm. Oh my god, the super rares. The super rares are about $20 for the super rares. And I think relatively the same price for the secret rares, which are pushing closer to like $25-30. I picked these up at like around the $2.99 when they first came out back like almost 3 years ago, from Darkwing Blast, and now it's a $20+ super. This used to be the $20+ super rare, but then now because it's at one, it's a lot lower. But then it's like, let's take a look at this new Rebellion. I'm like, this is more valuable than this Rebellion right now. That is nuts. But yeah, I can see either this list or next list. This card, I don't think should belong to 3. Like, this card's good, really good. Because once again, getting to send a special summon monster, you go into Chaos Angel with like your level 4 stuff, so you can like get out like Lacrima, Crimson Tears, get this out, or make Chaos Angel, and then you get a Banish and Ascend. For a special summon monster. That's really good. This card has high utility. This card's very strong, and I think just the Bestial dominance in this meta is kind of like one of those things where it's just like really, 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 really good. I think it's a fantastic card, but sometimes some cards do overstay their welcome. And then to the next card, Bonfire. Now, Bonfire is an interesting one. I don't want to see it go to limited. I really don't want to see it go to limited. I don't think it should, but send the Tachyon, and that's coming. You play 3 Bonfires. Like, I have Fiendsmith. You play Fiendsmith. You play 3 Bonfires. You get your Bonfires and everything. Everything's good to go. You're Gucci, right? You don't really need to send the Tachyon stuff to start searching out. But because this folks with that, we have seen Konami in the past, like, oh yeah, we have new support, get rid of the old supports, and and just we just play the new stuff, just play the new stuff, and that's sometimes what's probably gonna happen. We're probably gonna get to a play the new stuff type of a play the new stuff type of mentality with Konami. That's what happened when they banned original source for spoils. I hope this just stays at 3. So we aren't forced to buy into the new Tachyon stuff and just reorganize the extra deck and blah blah blah. I don't want that. I really don't. I don't like that at all. I don't really like that at all. I don't think it should happen. But hey, this is Konami we're talking about. Who knows what happens? But I really don't want to see Bonfire get hit. But it's probably gonna happen because, like, I mean, the decks that play Bonfire is definitely the best deck, and kind of like when Pot of Desires was being played in Sword Soul, prolifically, like, you play that, and then like it got hit to 1 because it was like the best search, it was the best draw card at the time because like a lot of decks were playing it. Well, not a whole lot of decks can play Bonfire. Like the decks that do play Bonfire had been like some of the more powerful decks in the format, if that makes sense. And then on to the next one, another limited card. Master Chief, the True Draco Slaying King. Free my boy. It's been since 2018. He's been banned since 2018. It's been almost close to 10 years. It was like 7 years. You can unban him. You can honestly unban this card. There is really nothing that I can see why this card is still banned. It's like, what is True Draco done? True Draco doesn't do anything. Throws in Rivalry, Skill Drain, all at 1. I think TC Boo's at 1 too. Hold up. I actually cannot remember TC Boo's at 1. Yeah, TC Boo's at 1 too. Not that you really would play TC Boo in this case, but it's just like the True Draco cards, we're no longer in 2017. Like the True Draco cards, like the value no longer really do anything. It's like, okay, cool. I get a Dynamite. I can, set up trap. Cool. It's like I can cut attack, but then it's just like you get blown out by a single duster. You're kind of screwed there. It's just like the value of the deck has gone downhill. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, Masterpiece. I was like, oh, Masterpiece is such a strong card. It's like, it's a pop. It's like, okay, cool. It's a pop. But then you have cards like Desiree. You have cards like Phantom Yubel. You have all these insane cards that do insane things, insane boss monsters. Every deck has access to access code. Every deck I feel like has access to a card that just simply just beats over this. Oh no, you popped a card. Oh my god, that's crazy. Anyway, Thorizo combo, full Fiendsmith combo, full Malice combo. Like, it's just not that strong anymore. It really has gone, it's past its prime at this point. It's like, we have Apocalypse Towers, doesn't do anything. We have a rival like Mister, doesn't do anything. This, why is a tribute summon type of card is like, it doesn't really do anything. It's just like, you have to have setup, and knowing True Draco, sometimes you'll just brick to all high heavens. I know it definitely happens. I mean, Prosperity is at 1. I mean, you have Extravagance, but you wouldn't even play that in this type of deck because you want to draw off of Heritage. So it's like, yeah, no, this card doesn't do anything. It's just cool. Bring it back. It's getting a reprint, and Platinum Rare would be nice. But yeah, it's just nothing crazy anymore. It really is not anything that great. Next up, Heavy Storm. The OCG has this, Master Duel has this. We know we're getting this back. It just got a Platinum and GCR reprint. Bring it back to 1. It's like, just having the war spell and Strap Destruction is fine. I mean, most decks that you play against nowadays don't really even run that much back throw unless like Imperm, Impulse, Dominant, Impurge, Impulse, right, and the Malice traps. But it's like, oh no, like the control decks. Think of the poor control decks and like, or back throw decks, and like, not many of them really exist. Heavy Storm been on the ban list for a very long time. It isn't really like, have that same booth that I feel like it does, that it used to. I know Harpies has been unbanned for a while now. It's been like, Harpies Feathers have been unbanned for like 5 years or something now, and it's just like, this card is cool. It's like, people's like, oh, you can pop your own back row, and it's like, yeah, that's true, you can't pop your own back row, but it's just like, going, what deck's really doing that? I remember people talking about like, oh, Eldritch can pop their own back row and pop off, and it's like, no one plays Eldritch anymore. Eldritch is trash. And it's like, it's so garbage now. So it's like this card is just it's just Harpies 2. It's Harpies Featherstorm 2. No, Featherstorm, sorry. Harpies Featherstorm Part 2. Strong card, but it can come back to one. And especially with how this game runs nowadays, we have Lightning Storm, we have Harpies Feather Dusters, we have Cosmic Cyclone. We just have all these cards, and it's like, oh no, Heavy Storm, one more. Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. We can get this card easy. Another card that I would say that I want to go limits is both these two. Now, this probably won't happen. And this probably is going to just be like semi-limited for one or the other, but I feel like the Cachetera cards are some of those cards that kind of overstay their welcome. Both Unicorn and Fenrir, I really do feel these cards overstay their welcome. I would imagine one of these, I think Unicorn was hit to 2 and then went back to 3. After they banned Araya's heart, and it's just like, okay, this was kind of pointless, but once again, these cards are becoming one of those cards that people just kind of shove into anything, and it's really kind of sickening seeing this, like, during the YCS, I literally played against, like, Cachetera Zombie Pile, and I was flabbergasted. I saw, oh, there's a Unicorn. It's like, Unicorn is one of those card designs I'm not a big fan of in general, where this card just says, oh, by the way, if you interact with me and you don't fully negate my effects, I will rip apart your extra deck. Fenrir, on the other hand, you have to have a face-up card on the field. And Unicorn is just like, if you ash Unicorn while search for Theosis or Earth, guess what? I'm going to get full knowledge of what you're playing and rip out your one-of. So it discourages you to interact with these type of cards. I don't like them. I like Fenrir, but I don't like the Unicorn. But I feel like both of them have just kind of the point where they're just like, I just don't want to see you anymore. I really don't want to see them. I don't imagine. I imagine something, it's going to look something like this. Fenrir goes semi-limited, this goes limited. I can imagine this is realistically what I can see happening. Maybe they both get semi-limited. Who knows? But I can honestly see like this. I can see this happening. Just to get, because you had a highly searched one with this. If he goes to 2, this goes to 1, I think that'd be fine. I'm just kind of sick of seeing these cards. But as far as limit goes, one other card I can say back from banned would definitely be MXC Bear Evoker. And for the level 3 guys, searching an Earth, or especially something Earth Warriors, is like, it doesn't feel like it does much as of right now, and I could very much be very wrong on that scenario, and it could be one of the craziest cards to ever come back. But right now, I don't really feel like it's doing much of anything if it came back. As the OCG, I think is a Master Duel. I know those aren't the best litmus tests for checking this, but I don't really see it doing anything. It's like, what deck are you playing this in? That runs into things like, oh, Tapaton Borg, what was it, Tapaton Borg and Speedboy Terratop, and it's like, okay, cool, you make a rank 3, it's like it's almost an Earth Warrior, but what are you doing with that Earth Warrior? It's like, cool, it's an extra body. Toads. Bullets, that's cool, but it doesn't really do much. I really don't like, I really don't care. This card's like whatever. This card really is whatever, and that's kind of how I feel about it. But I feel like as far as limits, I think that's the pretty, like, not asking for too much, but kind of in a reasonable sense. And I know people are probably already looking at this and like, okay, but what about like, Malice? What about, Ryzio? Like, well, if you have Bonfire, I don't think we're going to touch those engines directly. It's only been about 2 months since Crossover Breakers came out. I doubt they're really going to touch anything. I have seen people mention about putting X to 2, I guess, but I doubt they're touching the main engines as of yet, because those are mostly ultra rares for the Ryzo cards. I don't really expect to see that. On to semi-limited. This is where things get pretty basic, honestly. I don't know where. Change of Hearts. And yeah, that's Change of Heart. Fiendsmith. So starting with Change of Heart, I can definitely see Change of Heart going to 2. Like, once again, it hasn't really at 1. It hasn't. I don't think in my time playing, even like during the YCS, during YCS Orlando, like earlier this month, like I have not seen anyone play or slide into this card at all. Like, for every Malice, and for every like Ryzio player, and for every like Rogue player, I have not seen this card. Like, I do not see this card whatsoever. I'm not sure who plays this card, who's playing this card, but as of right now, I have not seen anyone play this card. Not to say no one would end up playing it, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't expect people to play too much. I think go to 2 may see more playability. Um, it's really cool as the card came back, but it's like, it's okay. Go having a dedicated going second deck. That's not called Tenpai. I don't know too much about like another going second deck that just plays this card, but even Tenpai just plays a bunch of board breakers, Summon Hydra, and just murder you. So it's like this card is okay. Like it targets, you can't take your opponent's death array. You can try to take something. It's like, oh, if you try to take your opponent's detonator, they just pop it, revive it with either plug-in at the pure variant or a close twins. There's usually not much you're doing with this card. So especially in this current format, it's like the Malice. Oh, well, I'm gonna take your card for Malice, and it's like, okay, cool. By the way, change GWC06, change TP11, change with my traps, get rid of my body, special summon my body, do something else. It misses its target. And it's just like, this card's okay. I think this card can go into 2. Now, Fiendsmith Engraver. I can see this card going to 2. Realistically, yeah, I would say most people probably say limited, but I can see it going to 2. It has not received a reprint yet, is the first thing. It's a very popular engine, very strong engine, actually, the most powerful engine we have currently, realistically speaking. And I don't really see people. I can see Konami hitting it to 2, getting instead of because right now I think the engine is 1 Lacrima, 3 Engraver, 2 Tract, and a Feast of the Paradise. That's been like the package, and I can definitely see this going to 2 right now. We already saw them ban Fusion Lacrima like right off the gate. Like they really said like, okay, yeah, we're banning this guy. I'm mad too because he had the sickest artwork, and I like playing with the rank 6 stuff, but it's too good. It is really too good, but I feel like if this is like how they're going to until they reprint these cards, I think Engraver goes to 2. I think that's probably what happens. I don't think they're gonna put it to 1 yet, but I can see like it going to 2 and then going to 1. I can definitely see that happening in the near future, but I think right now it just gets like the Fusion Destiny scenario where it's just goes to 2. Another card I would say that probably can come back to 2. We got you. We got Diagram. We got Dragon Diagram. Diagram hasn't seen play in how long? A very long time. It's not that good of a card. Well, I'm going to take that back because it's a really good card, but in the case in which it supports, it's not doing anything. It's like no one's going to be like, oh man, Diagram 2, let's go play TK Dino with no calamities. It's like whatever. It's like, people in Dinosaurs may still play Litho Sagem, but maybe. But then dinosaurs don't do much nowadays outside of just being like a degenerate pile of cards. Like that's pretty much what it is. It can't even tell me anything. Like giant degenerate ass pile of cards. Yeah, Diagram comes after 2. Honestly, I would put it unlimited, but knowing Konami, quarantine and then unlimited. But this card doesn't really facilitate as much as it used to. It's one of those field spells that do a lot. It boosts the attack, protects once for your tributes to the monsters per battle, and then also searches a true king card, a true Draco card. So back to 2017, 2018, 2019 even, like this was an insane card. Nowadays, not much. It doesn't really do too much right now. And that's what I'm gonna say about that. I think that's it for semi-limits, and then for unlimited, I'm gonna be honest with you. Lightning Storm, Shavara, Delicious Memory. Where are you? And the Striker Dragon. And so Lightning Storm, I don't know what the hell this is at 2. I'd be very honest with you. Connie put this at 2, and I'm just like kind of sitting here just like, why in the world was this at 2 in the first place? Like, this is stupid. Just put it back to 3. Shavara, I know, like, I felt bad for the Unchained players because I feel like after Unchained, this happened to Unchained. Unchained fell off the map, and then Yubel just kind of took its place and just kind of took this Blue Dog, Yama, and all the and this one Shavara. But it's like I think this is a boost to Fiend decks, to Fiend type decks. Um, it's just like I don't think this belongs at one. I really don't believe this belongs at one. This is just a deck that I feel like doesn't even do anything anymore. Like Yubel has struggles now, but I feel like Unchained didn't really deserve this stray. They caught the stray, and it's just like, okay, this doesn't come back. I feel like it's underneath the power level of everything. It's underneath the power of Ryzeal. We play a bajillion hand traps now, so it's like we have multiple ways of stopping that deck. I think it's a really good card. It's a really cool card, but I don't think it needs to remain at one any longer. It's kind of silly. Delicious Memory, same thing. No one's really playing Pearly. Pearly is just kind of falling off hard, like really hard. Like I do not remember the last time I seen a Pearly, like in physical paper format, like actually seen a Pearly deck in a long time. Just because like the deck just kind of lost its appeal. It's just not very good. It's kind of a hard time. You have Bestials, you have so many cards that just hurt you. And now it's just like, I feel like it's just not that great. It really it's really not that great. It has not had that good of a showing. It's just whatever. Striker Dragon, kind of same thing. Striker Dragon's been out one for a very long time. LP's bans, most of the good Dragon Link stuff is kind of gone at this point, minus Seals, but I don't think they're hitting Seals anytime soon. At least God, I hope not. But I feel like Dragon can go back to more than one. They've been at one for a very long time. I'm just like, what's the point even keeping it at one? What deck is really so scary that having multiple Striker Dragons is gonna make that big of a difference? Honestly, probably none. Probably none. But hey, I feel like this card can come back to one. I like this card. I like Dragon Link. I love Dragon Link. And I feel like, Dragon Link has gone punished for long enough. We already lost Baron. We already lost, oh my God. We lost Baron. We lost Savage. We have one K. Oh, wait, hold up. I just thought about it. There is a card that I am actually upset about. Chaos Space. I almost forgot about this card, but Chaos Space goes back to 2. This is stupid. We have Wanted at 3, and Wanted was at 3 from AGOF format in 2023 October, and it's still at 3 over a year and almost a half later. Granted, I know that the Fire King, or not Fire King, so the Snake Eye stuff is like pretty much dead as of at the moment, but Chaos Space is not you can't draw phase this. I can't draw phase Chaos Space. I can draw phase. They literally limited this to 1, and then shortly after release AGOF, and AGOF has 3 cards that does so much better. Not to mention the white forest cards are about to get the boost. So it's like, oh yeah, draw phase, search for Black Witch. This card, and it also draws you a card and helps recycle. This does the same thing, sort of, except it's tied to darks and darks and lights that can't be summoned. And you search for the ones that can't be summoned by a card except for banishing. But you kind of think about this, it searches like some really powerful cards, indeed. But so does Wanted, and Wanted is a quick play spell card, my ad. And Wanted by itself used to be full Snake Eye combo. It's insane. This card, I would get drilled on this card like 9 times out of 10. Or it's just like you would ask this card. It's such a good card that having it in the graveyard is a scary card to have. But then it's like at 1, and I'm like, why is it still at 1? Once it's at 3, it's like, what are your economies? Like, what are you trying to do? It's like, just some boost to some light and dark decks, please. Especially with these two jobbers getting hit, I definitely think that this being brought back to 2 is necessary. Well, 3. Probably not 3 yet, but I can definitely see this happening. I really want this to happen. But this is kind of like what I imagine a banlist would look like. Probably minus some cards, but I think this is like reasonable. This doesn't feel like anything that is too outlandish or too much to ask for, especially going into the next format. Some hits to Fiendsmith, some cards being brought back, some utility cards getting hit, but without like shifting the format too much. Especially like, this doesn't really do too much. It's like once again, we have Blue Eyes. We have, Blue Eyes will still be strong. Rise will still be strong. Mouse still be strong. You just take away some of those extra utility, especially for the Fiendsmith engine, which has been around for almost a year now. Now, to kind of talk about some of these other cards I have here, they all represent a little bit different things. But starting with the Snake Eye stuff, Shoplar and original Simple Swells. Now, I'll be the first to say I was not a big fan of the original Simple Swells hits. I did not like this hit. I'd rather have lost Flamberge than lost the moves this, or this gets limited or something. But the fact that they banned this after the deck underperformed at the last YCS that was there, Ryan showed up and showed out. This card is not doing, this card, I can't say not doing anything, but it was bad because the deck just became budget, and then they just banned like the bridge. They banned the bridge. Granted, the Fire King stuff is still very much playable and very rogue. I kind of miss this deck. I know it's like ironic to say like we already dealt with the deck, with the year of it, but I couldn't get to play on it for that long because, well, guess what? The deck was super expensive, and I don't like when they make super expensive decks cheap and just to kill the decks right out. Like just kill the decks right out. I don't like that. I really hate that type of thing just to make room for Ryzo, because even with that, the deck was still not better than Ryzo with its hits with Poplar to 1 and Snake Eye Ash to 1, because this became a brick when it was never a brick, and then Snake Eye Ash, it just became a little bit weaker. But then, like, it has Anita stuff, and I was like, I don't really like that. I would love to see this come back to 1. I would love to see this come back to limited. It's not gonna happen. I don't foresee it happening. And then some other cards, just some filler because I just didn't feel like erasing everything. I was being lazy. But I want to talk about some other cards. So Tract, the rest of this engine, so Tract and Requiem. These are probably going to stay at 3. I don't think you're going to get hit. I feel like the hit engraver, I know some people have called for this to be banned, and it was like, bro, if you ban Requiem, there goes the entire deck. Like, the entire engine just dies. And I doubt that's the reason. I don't think that's, the right move. I like this deck a lot. It's a very fun deck, fun deck engine. And I feel like this Tract, I could see possibly going to 1. It could possibly be limited, but that's like not necessary for that. I feel like just because like it's one of those cards that are currently played in multiples, it can be hit to 1. I can see like, 2 engraver, 1 Tract. We play like how we used to play it before. It's possible. It's very possible that happens. I'm just not 100% sure on it, but I can see this happening. Crossout, originally, Crossout was here because originally I was, literally crossed out. Crossout's such a weird card to think about too, because Callback's at 1, Crossout's still at 3, but Crossout hasn't been seeing has been seeing a little bit more play because of Malice and because of Lancia, and Lancia just cooks that deck so badly. Nothing feels worse than getting Lancia in draw phase while playing Malice. You can't activate the lure. You can't activate the trap cards to do Jack, but then if you're playing the Fiendsmith version, you just go ahead and do Fiendsmith combo stuff, so it's like whatever. But it's like you're missing out on the effects, but Lance is a very strong card. But I see Crossout right now. It's not as prevalent as it was in the previous formats, but I can see this card maybe, and eventually if we go back into a Tier 0 format or something stupid like that, where the decks are playing so much of the same cards, this card comes back again. If this card becomes main deckable again, I think we have to limit it. I think we have to limit it if it does that. The plant stuff. Plants haven't, in my honest knowledge, I don't think plants have done anything for a while. Dryads and semi-healer, everyone still, I don't like the plant deck, and I'll be very honest. I think the plant deck is just like a very degenerate and not fun combo deck. Some people are just like, some people love this deck. I don't like this deck at all. I can see these coming back, possibly, maybe come back to 3, but I think the deck has kind of been power crept, but it's still just not a fun deck to play against. I wouldn't mind these cards just staying at 1, honestly. Just stay at 1 for the rest of this existence, but I can see these cards come back. Branded Fusion. This card's at 1 still. ban Sanctifier, bring this back to 3 if you really want to do that. I feel like, but then again, Branded Fusion is lazy design, in my opinion, because it is Shaddoll Fusion 2.0. It's like, oh no, you can't summon anything but fusion monsters. And the fusion deck is like, oh no, 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 God forbid. I can't fusion summon anything out of a fusion monster playing this one of the strongest fusion decks of all time. Even, one of the strongest fusion spells of all time. It's staying at one. I can see it happening for a while. But I still think they should ban Sanctifier. I hate that card. That card's stupid. I know they banned Jowgen. They banned Gimmick Puppet. But Idol is still legal. It's like, okay, come on, man, what are you doing? But I can see this card coming back if they ever decide to ban, not stop being stupid and just ban Sanctifier Dragon. And for a couple more, Protos, no one plays Protos as of right now. Because what was the deck? Ritual Beast fell off the freaking map. That deck just disappeared. No one plays it anymore. It is a deck that just does not see any play whatsoever right now. Just because all the mouse hates equal all the hate for Ritual Beast, and it's a combo deck that you have to play really well. But you have Fulvolos, you have plus Perulia, but you have Lancia in the format. So that deck used to get away with, oh, I'm just gonna drop Shifter and then play my entire board. And now it's just like, oh yeah, if you get Lancia, you get cut. You can't do anything. And Malice is just better, an easier deck to play. And it's not, you can make, in my opinion, you can make more mistakes with Malice than you can with Ritual Beast. Deck's just degenerates, but Protoss, degenerate ass card. It's gonna stay at 1. I was hoping to stay at 1. And then, last but not least, obligatory, second to last. Actually, third from last. Next up, Azamina. The Azamina stuff is not going anywhere. Deception's not going anywhere. How Azamina not going anywhere. The fusions aren't going anywhere. I like this engine. I like this engine a lot. I feel like there's a lot of counterplay with it too, to where it's not super intrusive, but it's also just really powerful. But it's not unbeatable if you have ways to play against this deck. And it feels good. It just feels like normal. It feels so much of it feels normalized. I don't know if it's just Stockholm syndrome or what, but it just feels okay. It doesn't feel anything super crazy, right? And this stays at 1. I'm sorry, but Dinosaurs is not a healthy deck to have run around at all. We've seen what this deck does when this card's at 3. That deck just summons, Logia, nowadays, Logia Lars. It can now actually, Secret Village you. I was playing against this on EDO Pro the other day ago, and I got Secret Village locked. Because I didn't open any hand traps against it, or Secret Village locked, and I didn't know this was even possible in Dinosaurs, but Dinosaurs unfortunately just keeps going and becoming more and more degenerate. Every single time I see it, it's just before it was Baron Savage, Appaloosa, Logia, Doka, and now it's just it's just Logia, Lars, Secret Village locked with the Spellcaster XYZ, I think it's a go, I forgot what it was. And it's just this is a new CT, and it's just this is just not fun to play against. Especially this card right here. It's just so toxic. I hate this card. This card's AIDS. Droll stays at 3. I don't like lingering effects that much, but I think cards like Droll, Lancia, I think they're okay. Droll, more so Lancia than Droll. Droll is a very strong card, but I feel like it's needed to help cut off advantage at some point in time. And this is not we're in low-powered decks. A lot of these decks are high-powered. Sometimes you could just play through Droll and it doesn't even matter. It's just okay, cool. I just go ahead. I just won't search this particular part of my combo, but I still have the hand traps to back myself up. I still have my non-engine to back myself up. I'm okay. Okay, Droll. It's okay, cool. You trolled me. Say I'm playing Bryce, it was you bonfire me. It's okay, cool, Droll. It's okay, no, I'm so ice, I'm just gonna do this. I can go full Fiendsmith combo still. And Droll would have no effect on me. The only thing that's I probably wouldn't do that route just because I would want to rather just go for something simpler. Say an Eclipse put in the graveyard, make a detonator, still on the detonator, and with some backgrounds of hand traps. And that's true, and sometimes that's just too much to deal with some decks. And last but not least, we have obligatory Taillaments. get us back kick house to one. I doubt that's gonna happen without the banning of his diffusion, but I feel like after playing Master Duel for a while and just like playing this deck in Master Duel, I'm just like, bro, I wish we had kick house still. Though I kind of hate the deck in Master Duel because they don't have it early, and that feels super awkward. But they left Sprite Elf in. Go figure. Oh, you know, actually, for Master Plan. No, I hate Spiral. Spiral can go die in a hole. Garbage card design. Goodbye, bozo. But besides that, I think this is like what my list looks like. I think it's a fairly reasonable list. I probably missed something, but overall, this is kind of my thoughts. Guys, I would appreciate if you just go ahead, tell me how you feel, you know, let's engage in conversation. Tell me how you guys feel. What do you guys feel like I missed? Do you guys feel like, you know, I'm just reaching too far for it? Go ahead, tell me. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys. But besides that, guys, it's been a pleasure. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe and like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye.